What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and of course if this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm Jasmine Michelle, this nostalgic 90s baby, and I'm a doll collector. I collect Barbies from the 90s as well as the early 2000s, and as I also collect Rainbow High as well, but we'll talk about that at a later time. So today's video is going to be super fun. It's going to be a little bit of an experiment actually, because I have this doll here that I got from the thrift store a couple of weeks ago, and she's a pretty cute doll, super basic. But more recently I saw a video on YouTube about dyeing doll skin, so I want to use her as an experiment, because again I got her from the thrift store. She's only $2.40, and she's not in super great condition. She's definitely older. She has this little mark on her head, and I don't know what's going on down here with her neck. Excuse the doll nudity. And then she just has like I don't know what this is on her leg. I have no idea what that is. But yeah, she has a twist and turn waist. Her arms move and stuff like that, so she can't like do a split or anything. But she, well, not like an outward split, because she do this kind of split though. And yeah, she just has these weird shoes that are like permanently on her feet. So yeah, that's why I went ahead and got her, because I just thought she was a pretty interesting doll. And then after I saw that video about dyeing dolls, I was like, maybe I should try to use her as that experiment, because I knew I wanted to like fix her hair and stuff like that. So I'm gonna get her cleaned up, and then these are the dyes that I'm gonna be using for her today, because I want to separately dye her hair and her skin. So this one I'm going to be trying to use this brown from Rit Dye More, and then this Rit in black for her hair. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, so hopefully this will be a fun experiment. I have another doll that's a little bit smaller that I got from the thrift store. You guys, I might have a video about that, or I think I showed it on my Instagram, and I'll link my Instagram if you're not already following me. So yeah, I have another doll that I got from the thrift store the other day, so I will test that doll first, and if it turns out well with her, then I would use these dyes to dye this bigger one, because I want to see if I can make her kind of like a mini version of myself. So you'll see more of that. If the dyeing goes well, then you'll see the rest of her transformation in another video. But yeah, that's enough talking for now. Let's just go ahead and get into the action. Alright you guys, so this is how she turned out. It's actually a different day, and I didn't end up recording because so my sister and I, we tried a test doll first. I had another doll that was lighter, as you can see by her legs, and we wanted to try her out first, because we figured if it worked on her, then we can go ahead and do the bigger doll. And so her legs are actually made out of a different material than her body is, so that was an interesting process. So we just submerged her for a couple of seconds. Like I said, I didn't end up recording because we were having so much fun. We did the test doll first, and we were so excited that it worked that we just went ahead and started putting the bigger doll in. So I didn't record anything, unfortunately, but I mean, I'll link a video or two about like the ones that I watched that helped me decide like how to do this. And so I'll go into a little bit more detail about like the results. Like I said, her legs are made out of a completely different material, I guess. So different plastics work and different other ones don't. So, and I'm sorry, but I can't even tell you which ones are which, because I myself don't even know. So the results were a surprise for me. But her hair dyed as well. She was blonde. I'll try to see if I can insert like a small clip of what she looked like before. But her hair was blonde, and her whole body was the color of her legs, maybe a little bit lighter. She was pretty pale. And yeah, so you just get the water boiling, and I didn't want to use a pot that we would like cook with again, so I boiled the water on the stove in a pot, and then I transferred the water into this bowl. And as you can see, the bowl is staying brown now, because after you use the dye, it's gonna dye whatever you're using, and that's why I didn't want to do it in the pot on the stove. But so you get the water boiling hot, and then you pour in as much dye as you're gonna need for your whatever it is that you're dyeing. So I did a small batch first so we can dye her and see how her results. And I took her head off to do it. Actually, I'm not really sure what's going on with her hair. I washed it earlier, and like when she was blonde, and it still was like this after I washed it and I put some fabric softener and stuff like that. So I'm not sure I think it's the glue, but I'm not really sure. I'm gonna see if I can fix it or not. But ever since I washed her earlier, it's been like that. And I don't know if the water was too hot and maybe it melted her hair or something. I don't know. But what was I saying about her? But yeah, so I was just happy with her results. I just put like maybe like 2 spoonfuls of this in a smaller bowl when I was dyeing her first, and I just had a wooden popsicle stick, and when I was stirring it around, when the color payoff started to be pretty rich on that, I knew that I pretty much had enough dye in there. And so after we did her, she turned out good, and we put her head back on her body and everything, we decided we were gonna go ahead and try it out this doll. And I did the same thing. I took off her head first so we could have more control, so I wasn't trying to put the body and the water in there, her body in there, her body and her head in the water at the same time. So for her, since she's way too big for that bowl, I actually used the bucket, and of course the bucket dyed as well. I used the same rest of the water from the first girl's dye that I did, but I just put more water and more dye, just a little bit more. And of course, like I said, I was using this one. So this is the synthetic dye, and this one works perfectly, and even like the hair works too. But I can't find that one in black. I'm not gonna say they don't make it. I haven't found it, so I don't know whether it exists or not. So I got this red and black, but this one, I think that's the reason why it didn't work, is because it's not the synthetic. It does say nylon, wool, and more, and in cotton and stuff like that. Like this one says polyester, nylon, and acrylic. That's what it can dye. But this one, so I'm not sure what it doesn't dye, that because if this one, it seems like it lists more possibilities of what it can work for, but it definitely didn't take. So, and I don't know if it's because her hair dyed from the brown, so even though she has like red looking hair, this is because the brown has such red undertones, and so her hair did take some of the color. Not as much color as the test doll. The test doll, her hair took the color a little bit better, in my opinion. But yeah, so I took her head off, and her hair is interesting when you take it off. She has different, like, she doesn't have like the same kind of peg. Oh, her neck dyed too. It was actually pretty much white, I think. But yeah, so she has a different kind of neck peg than the other typical Barbies have. So yeah, anyway, so I took her head off. I put her head in the water, in the dye first, and let that get to the color that I wanted it to get to, and it did dye her hair. And then after we were done with her head, we went ahead and put her body in the water. And while we were doing that, I had a separate smaller cup of the black dye, and like I said, this isn't the dye more synthetic, so I think that's why it didn't work. I'm not sure, but that's my conclusion, because it's not the same as this. But they don't have this in black, or like I can't find it. Like I was looking on Amazon for that. I think I saw it in the it's called like graphite, but I just don't know if that's gonna be more gray or darker. But if I can order that on Amazon, I might try to do that next, so I can see if I can get her hair darker, because this is definitely a pretty unique color. But I don't like it because it's a reddish color and her skin has reddish undertone, so it's kind of like washing her out, in my opinion. But anyway, so as I was dyeing her, I was also noticing that like, as you can see, there's like different like scratches and stuff like that. Like, so anytime I saw anybody's videos, I was noticing that it wouldn't just be completely like smooth one color. It'll always have like different, like a little bit of splotchiness and stuff, depending on the material, because obviously the heads are made out of like squishy like vinyl, so those always do the best. But the bodies are a little bit more hit or miss. But I think overall it turned out the same enough. There's just a lot of like scratches, and I think that might be from the tongs that I was using to put her into the like keep her submerged down. When I would like be pressing her down into the water, I feel like the tongs were like scratching her skin, so that might be why it has like, because these don't just look like smudges that didn't color, they look just like scratches, like maybe from the tongs, because the tongs that I was using were metal. So I think that might be what that's from, but I don't know. If I had to guess, that's what I would say. But overall, so the dyeing part I think went as well as it can go. I like the results a lot. So I'm going to continue on with her transformation. There's a couple more things I want to do. I'm probably not going to talk about it too much. I'm probably just going to be showing what I'm going to be doing, because it's not like, this is not really a tutorial or anything, because this is an experiment for me. So if the results turn out good, then that's why I'm showing you guys. Even if they turn out bad, I'll still show you guys just so you can see how it turned out. But whatever the case, the dyeing worked. Super simple. Just boil some water, add in as much of this as you need, depending on the size of your doll. Not too much. I ended up using very close to the whole bottle, because when you get the bottle, when you like, it's not full at all. So I probably used about like a third of the bottle, just because she's so big. Like if this was just when I used her, I used very little. Like it wasn't a lot at all. The bowl that I used for her, so as you can see, like where the line starts, that's as much water as I put in there. And then I probably put about maybe like 1/4 of a cup. I think that's pretty good. And then her hair was off. We did the hair first, and then I just bent her like as bent as she can get, like that. And I just put her straight in there and let her be like submerged in there. And it only takes literally seconds. You depend on like how rich the color you want it to be. Yeah, you just put her in there, depending on like, put her in there for as long as you think it's gonna take for her to get, like, you don't want to go more than 5 minutes. That's what I would say, because I've seen some bad, like some dolls didn't turn out so great. So I think they turned out pretty good. So anyway, I'm gonna finish on with the transformation of everything else I'm gonna try out. I'm gonna try to style her hair. I'm gonna give her some clothes, and I'm probably gonna see if I could change her eye color. Like, I'm definitely not a doll repainter, so I don't know. I'm not gonna be putting too much into it, but I am going to see if I can get her eyes to be brown. I have some acrylic paint and I have some Mod Podge. So I saw a video where a lady, she just mixes a little bit of the acrylic paint with the Mod Podge and colors over where she wants to color over. So I'm going to see if I can do something like that, and I will show you guys the results. Okay, you guys, so I'm just going to be continuing on with her transformation. As you can see, now that we're closer up to her face, the dye didn't help with this little spot that she has here on her head. So that's fine. I'm probably going to ignore that. So I'm going to be, right now, I'm about to see if I can fix, like, I want to change her eyes to brown. And I want to see if I can give her a slightly different shade of lipstick. And, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I just have some acrylic paints. I have different colors. I have some browns. I have some pinks. I have some whites. And then I just have some Mod Podge. And I'm just going to be mixing a little bit of the color with a little bit of Mod Podge and try to see if I put that on her face, will I be able to cover up what's already there, because I'm not an artist. So repainting doesn't seem like something I'm gonna be able to accomplish. Like, I don't know, I just don't have the patience for it. So I know my sister, she is an artist, and also she's interested in doing face repaint. So I have a couple of dolls for her that she's gonna be able to test out and see if she can get that perfected. So that's definitely going to be something that I'll show on my channel in the future. But right now, I'm just doing this little cheap, easy way out to see if I can still accomplish a bit of a transformation. I just definitely want to see if I can, because the blue eyeshadow, not a huge fan of. And then the I just want to see if I can get her eyes to be brown, because the eyes and the eyeshadow being the same color is kind of freaking me out a little bit. It's kind of creepy. I don't know, it looks weird. So yeah, I want to see if I can add something more for her, so we'll see. So right now I'm just mixing a couple drops of the glue, well, the Mod Podge, with, I'm gonna do the brown for her eyes first. And I have 3 shades of brown here. I have melted chocolate, and this one that says brown oxide, and then I have this one that says chestnut. And I think I'm gonna try the brown oxide first. Alright, so this is what it looks like. on the plate, just some brown, and I'm just mixing it together with the Mod Podge. And this might be a little bit too light, so I might mix a little bit of the melted chocolate, because that's the darkest one. For some reason, I think I forgot to get black. Alright guys, this is how it's looking so far. It's definitely still giving me creepy vibes. So what I'm noticing is that, so you just take a little bit on the brush and you kind of want to do like a blotting motion almost, and just like keep filling it in, but you don't want to build up certain areas too much, because then it won't be flat. It will start looking really weird. So again, this is just an experiment, so it's kind of fun. And of course I have white. I have white, so I'll be redoing the white areas around her eye to get it more rounded, and then I'll do the blacks of her eye as well, which on this though, they're actually brown, so I don't know if I should just do a darker brown for her. And it's probably like just faded, but I don't know. This is how it's looking so far, you guys. I added the white, so I'm just gonna now that I did the brown first, and I actually put too much brown, so I did the white to make it back to looking like an eye shape. So now I'm just about to go back with the brown and round it out a little bit, and then I'm gonna open some dark brown so I can do like the outside of the pupil and stuff like that. So it's definitely an interesting process so far. I'm pretty sure it's gonna go better for if you're actually an artist, but it's still a pretty easy process. It's just a little bit intimidating, but also the color turned out to not be too light. It's a pretty good color, and then I'll add some darker brown, but it's definitely opening her eye up more, because the blue eyes with the blue eyeshadow is just kind of weird to me, because they're the same shade of blue pretty much, so it's just, I don't know, it looks weird. But I'm still going to be getting rid of the blue eyeshadow though, because it just looks incredibly odd. Alright you guys, so this is how she's looking so far. I started working on her eye, and I went to go, I don't know how, but I forgot to get black. So far I just added white acrylic paint to the white part, and I added brown, but now I'm going to go in to add back her pupil with some black, and then do the outline of her eye. And I'm also going to try to do her eyebrows as well. I'm going to show you really quick what I have as far as the paint. So this is what I have. I have a bunch of so on the plate right now, what I have is these three colors. I have melted chocolate. I don't know why I did this right here. I have melted chocolate for the brown. I have this black, and then I have this snow white for the white, and that's what you're going to be seeing on her eyes. In a few minutes, so all of these are mixed. I put it like a little dollop or so of the Mod Podge, and then I just mix one of the colors with the Mod Podge, so that way when I paint it on, it'll be pretty much sealed. So yeah, I also have a couple of pinks that I want to work with in a few minutes to do her lips. I'm probably going to mix it like with a little bit of brown to give it kind of more of a natural looking shade. And I'm just using this little tiny brush right here. I have this little pack of small brushes. They're like detail brushes or whatever. And I'm trying to show it as I do it, but it's really hard because I've never done this before. And I'm definitely not an artist, so there's no technique that I'm using right now. I'm just kind of filling in what's already there. So yeah, I'll try to capture as much of it as I can, but it's not a tutorial because I myself don't know what I'm doing, so I'm probably just gonna like speed show you guys what's going on. And maybe I'll try to give her like some baby hair or something like that, but I don't want to do that yet because this is not what color I want her hair to be. I want to see if I can find the dye more from Rit in like a darker color, because I think they have it in graphite, and maybe that will work because the regular Rit, it didn't take to her, like her hair didn't take it at all. And I don't know if it's because her hair had just gotten dyed from when I just dropped her whole head into the dye. I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna do, like I said, I want to mix one of these pinks with I have some other browns as well. So I'll mix these pinks and maybe this brown or something like that to give her like a natural pink kind of color, because I don't really like the pink that she has right now. But I'll show you guys the process as everything goes. Alright, you guys, I think she's looking pretty good. So I'm just gonna go in with some black and try to do the outline. And I want to film this, you guys, but I don't have like the proper like camera set up to do this, so that's why I'm just like doing it and then coming back and show you what she looks like, because it's too hard to from this distance be able to like fill it in and then show you guys. So give me a few minutes and I'll come back and show you guys how it looks. Alrighty, you guys, so this is pretty much the final product that I have after all the trying to paint her face and everything like that. So far I pretty much like it. This is the first time that I've ever attempted like a face repaint, and it barely counts as that because I literally just colored on top of what was already there, just with different colors. I mean, I guess sometimes that's what a repaint can do, can be. And of course it's not perfect. Like I in no way, shape or form think that it's perfect, but I think that it's a good start. And like this was like a pretty good practice. I think it was very difficult, but definitely worth it. I'll show you guys really quick what how everything that I use. So I showed you what I was going to be using, and so this is ultimately everything that I end up using. So this is the color I used for her lips, which was these three colors. So bright magenta, pink parfait, and chestnut. All three of those mixed together is the color I used for her lips. And then I mixed the magenta, a little bit of black, and I want to say the brown oxide, or it actually might have been chestnut. So chestnut, the bright magenta, and a little bit of black. That's what I used to make this purplish color, and I used that as kind of like an eyeshadow for her. Her eyes were just melted brown, of course the black for her pupil, and then a little bit of white for the like little bright spot. And this color right here, that's just a darker brown that I did for her eyebrows because I didn't want them to be black, or I didn't want the brown to be too light. So yeah, so everything, each time that I did a color, I would put just a little bit of Mod Podge first, like a little dollop, and then I would put a drop of the color and just stir it around like that until I got like one of these little splotches here. And that's everything that I did to get her face to how it is now, which, like I said, of course, you know, it's not perfect, but I think this was a good first attempt. There's a couple of things that I would have done differently. So I mostly use this little small detail brush, which is this one is like, it has like the number 10. Oof, that's a little small. I don't know if it's gonna focus or not, sorry about that, but it's like 10 with a 0 by it, so I don't know exactly what that means, but either way, it says this is a spotter, which that's definitely how I did it. Like, you don't want to do strokes, you kind of just want to, after you just dip it into the paint, kind of just like fill it in a little bit. I don't know how to spin it. I tried to show it a little bit on camera, but I don't have the right setup to show you guys my like work in progress like while I'm doing it, and it's just like too hard to try to be holding her like this and then my hand would be all front of the camera. Like I had to have her like super close to my face because I don't really have like the best eyesight, but we're gonna ignore that. So yeah, I think this is just a pretty, you know, it gets the what I was trying to accomplish. Her eyebrows are dark and visible, her eyes are brown, and her lip is like a more flattering color in my opinion. So I might end up rerooting her hair just so she could have, one, a different hair texture, and two, a darker hair color. Because even though I do want to dye it, I don't know. I'll see if I can find the right dye that I need for her in the color that I want. If I can, then yeah, that'll be another video that I'll show you guys of me dyeing her hair. And of course I'll actually show it, because I know, again, I dyed her skin and technically I dyed her hair too, but I didn't get that filmed, unfortunately. I definitely, like, my intention was to film it, but I totally forgot once we started the process. I absolutely forgot to go get my camera. But anyway, so this is the turnout right now of her transformation. I'm gonna do a part 2 because I'm gonna be making her an outfit. I think I want to get her nose pierced, and her ears are actually already pierced, so I'm gonna put some earrings in there, and I will be showing you guys that. If you want to see, definitely go ahead and stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching this video. Yeah, stay tuned for more transformation for her coming soon. So anyway, thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I will definitely see you guys in my next video.